Good evening, everyone. We are so happy to be here today to just talk to you a minute. And I'm going to say that this is not the title of the book, but we're going to be talking about the lies you tell today. And my name is Leslie Montgomery. You are tuned in to LKM Kingdom Living. Let's get started. So today I'm here with the beautiful Charmaine. I should say Angel Charmaine. I always want to say Charmaine these days. I don't know. But the Angel Charmaine, we're just so glad that you're here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today to talk about your new release, The Running Lies. 10 lies women tell themselves to avoid life's challenges. And as I was going through the book, I was like, okay, it's relatable. This
Mhm.
book is relatable. This book tells you things that about yourself. It's like putting a mirror in your face. And every
Mhm.
Sunday when I come home Sunday morning, I bring the mirror out, talk about looking in the mirror. But
Mhm.
we need to face the challenges in our lives that has caused us to sugarcoat everything. And that's
Mhm.
what you're talking about, how we sugarcoat things, how we begin to make things look grand when they're really not. And in the process of it, we get messed up. And we're
Mhm.
messed up, we're broken on the inside, and
Yeah.
we can't figure out why and when and where and how. But it always comes back to the space where we got to face ourselves.
Mhm.
And I probably got to pour. You have written three books, and I'm bringing this up, and it's probably not the right one that I need to bring up but I'm going to bring it up. Your three
Okay.
books. And, and before we get started, I just want to tell everybody that these are the three books that she has written. Why does it seem like it's a fourth one?
So I actually have 6 published works, but these 3 are part of my conversational narrative series. They go together.
Okay.
Mhm.
So look, y'all, it starts with, I believe it starts with one woman,
10
uh,
truths.
10 truths. And then when I met him, you might want to get that one.
Yeah.
And then the runner's lie. And I just wanted to see everybody to see this beautiful work that you have done. And
Thank you.
listen, if you need to get in a place where you need to face yourself, I need to share these channels where you need to face yourself. Well, I promise you, today, Angel is going to help you decide who, who you really are and help you decide the differences between what is right and what is wrong. Now, I know Angel, and last year, it's been a year. I think it's been a
Mhm.
year. I don't
It's
know if
been a
it's been 2.
year.
It's been a year. I met Angel last week unexpectedly because I had no idea about Speak Up Sis or
Mhm.
anything like that. And then Judy, I always want to call what's her name? Judy, Miss Judy. Uh, it'll come to me in a minute. Not Rosenberg, but she reached out to me and she said, "I really think you need to be a part of this." And so that's how I was able to get in, how I ended up with Speak Up Sis. And,
Okay.
and through the journey, things things change,
Mhm.
things changed. And
Uh-huh.
you've been on the show a few times. I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you introduce yourself in a minute, but talk to the audience in a minute. But you were on here a few times, and I want you to come back on and talk about, because it's almost time, if I haven't missed it, for the pad. Did I miss it? the,
For the
the, the
for
pad
the gala.
the pad.
Oh, no, no, no. So yeah, the menstrual hygiene, that is next year. It
Oh,
that is always May for menstrual hygiene day. So we
May.
pass it in May. It'll
Oh,
come back around in this new year.
okay.
Yeah, in the
So you
next year.
even just finished with your Speak Up Sits award dinner.
Yes. Yes, which you were one of our second annual Speak Up Sis Awards receivers last
Yes,
year.
yes. And this year we had I two I well there was four actual people that I knew, but two of the recipient winners was one was Alicia Johnson,
Uh-huh.
and she's
Oh, you know, Ali, that's right.
yeah, I'm a part
Okay.
of her 1212 community, and I wanted the two of you to meet. So I thought that that was I was excited to see that she was able had the opportunity to come and meet up with you, and then Tiffany Childs, which she was also a participant winner. So I
Yes.
want to say hats off to them.
Yes.
You think it's easy, but it's really not easy. And so I was looking at some of the videos, and it was really a move of Elohim
Oh,
in there.
absolutely.
I saw one where you were on the floor, and just different things. And it's important that we understand that he has to be in the center of our work. So,
Absolutely.
next year is coming around, February. I don't know whether you'll be looking for be doing it a fourth year, but um, whatever.
We're gonna see what the Lord says. How about that? We are going to I am learning to stop allowing my emotions and my feelings to tell me what I'm going to and not going to do. Oftentimes we will allow how we feel in the moment, how we feel about people, if I can be honest with you. Oftentimes the feelings aren't even about what you really think, it's just how you feel about people.
People.
And when you work with people the way I work with people, sometimes I had to remind myself, Lord, Angel, you want to go into Canaan, don't hit the rock. Don't hit the rock. Right. And times, where I had to be reminded, you, you you can get up on the mountaintop and look at Canaan and be gone.
Right.
You understand, those of you who are Bible readers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you are put in a place of being a visionary leader, a person who leads the way that God has called me to lead, it is so important to not allow the people and your feelings about the people to cause you to act out of the will of God. And so I'm not going to say that we're not going to do it a fourth year, because going into this year I was like, this is it. This is my last year. I'm not doing this no more. These women don't care. They don't this, they don't that, they don't whatever. I'm tired. And yeah.
But it's
So I
very
had to repent.
interesting. Right. You'll hear women that's been doing this work for 10 years saying that.
Hmm.
It's difficult when you have a vision and you have to work with people. And I'm going to say this, and this is not for everybody, outside of your vision,
Absolutely.
and it
Absolutely.
makes you say, I ain't doing this no more, in a heartbeat. And you're going through
Hmm.
and you're smiling. And the reason why I'm saying that, because you're smiling and everything is grand until it's not
Till
grand.
it's not. Until it's
And
not.
I don't know if I'm freezing, you're freezing, I'm not sure. But just the fact that you have been obedient this far,
Mhm.
it's a blessing. So as we get into the book, I just want you to greet our audience, and then we'll get started.
Okay, sure. And you're not freezing on my end.
No,
Everything,
you're
no?
freezing.
Okay, you're smooth sailing for me, and I'm smooth
Okay.
sailing. Yeah. So first, let me say thank you so much for your yes, because I reached out and said, "Hey, I'm going to be doing this book tour for the new book. It's the Breaking Free book tour for the Runner's Lie, and I need places and spaces. And I would absolutely love to come back, and you said yes. So I want to say thank you. Yes. You think that it's easy. Everybody doesn't give you yes. Yes. And so I bless the Lord for your.
You're in the
So thank you
matrix.
so much for that. Yes. For those of you who are brand spanking new to me, my name is Angel Charmaine Wright. My pseudonym, or the my author name that I write under, is Angel Charmaine. I am now a best-selling author on Amazon. Yes, The Runner's Lie debuted as a number one Amazon bestseller
Awesome.
in the
Congratulations.
thank you in the self-help short reads category. I believe we got in there twice actually. So I'm really excited about that. I have 6 published works, like Miss Leslie has already mentioned. Speak with She, One Woman, 10 Truths is the first book of what I call a narrative conversation, a conversational narrative series. When I Met Him is the second book in the series, and then The Runner's Lie is the third book in the series. I also have a companion Bible study that goes along with my first book, Speak with Chic. It's called God, I've Got Questions, 10 Bible Studies for Women. I've also written Sit With You for a Minute, Sis, which is a 31-day self reflection workbook. It is designed to help those women who are on an authenticity journey. And I also tried my hand at poetry for the first time. So I
Did you?
have, yes, I published an ebook. It's called This Grown Woman Life, and it is a spoken word collection for women who have lived enough to know better. And absolutely.
Most of us.
Yes, yes. And so that's what I do in a nutshell. I Speak Up Sis is the vehicle that God has given me to disciple women. And but at this leg of the journey, the Lord has told me it is time for the Sis and Speak Up Sis to open my mouth and
Okay.
to say what it is that he has called me to say. And so I am now speaking up more. I'm doing more speaking engagements as an inspirational conversationalist, and I'm allowing my voice to speak on paper. It's a gift that God has given me. And what I've heard him say to me is, it is your gift that makes room for you, Angel, and you're going to have to open up your mouth and say what I tell you to say.
I like
And
that.
so that's where we are. And that is exactly this little book right here. It's a little tiny thing, but they always pack a punch.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's good. But before we get into this book, can you give us a little snippet about your other two in the series?
Yes, absolutely. So the very first book, and just let me say, it is still my best selling book. It has never gotten like the bestseller status, but I sell more of the first book
Wow.
than any of the books. And I believe Speak with She, One Woman, 10 Truths resonates with women the most because it is the book that precipitated the Speak Up Sis platform. It is the book. It is the thing the Lord said, do, like, do it now. There was an urgency. You need to do this. And I was like, I'm not an author. I'm not a writer. I teach literature, but I'm not. Lord, I'm only 40. I haven't lived long enough. I can't write a memoir. I felt like I was still in my story. Like, how do you write a memoir when you're still in it?
Mm.
And I heard the Lord say during a shower revelation, which I write about in that book. I heard the Lord say, "There's more than one way to skin a cat, Angel." And I said, and I thought about that, and I was like, "Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean?" And then I had an epiphany, and we can say it was Holy Spirit, but I had that aha moment, and the Lord led me to take women along the journey with me. He said, I'm going to use you so that they see both my heart and my hand. And so they're going to go along the journey with you. And so my books are these bite sized, they're small, each has 10 short pieces of prose in them. And I share truth as I've released it, as I've lived and released it in my own life.
Okay.
So the first book is about self-acceptance and self-esteem, self-love, and it was the thing that I needed to really deal with before I could say give God a yes to step out on the water, resign from my work and traditional employment and all that good stuff. And so many women are drawn to that book because so many of us are dealing with that. We've got
Yeah.
it deals with motherhood. There's a piece called Just One of Them Days where I talk about how I felt like I was a bad mom. I
Mm.
mean, if you've ever raised children, whether you birth them or not, you will get to a place where you feel like, I don't know if I did a good job with them, especially
Look,
when they start messing up.
let me tell you, I have told my children, I'm sorry, I don't know where I went wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And in that piece, I share how, there were some days when they went to bed with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and some milk for dinner because I was tired, and but that doesn't make you a bad mother. It doesn't. And mothers need to hear that, right? There's a piece in there called 2 a.m. Cry. I don't know a woman who has not been awakened, whether it's midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. You wake up out your sleep sobbing, sobbing for something, right? Sometimes you know what those tears are for, and sometimes you don't even know where the tears are coming from. And so there's a 2 a.m. cry piece. And so that book, Mask Off, is in Speak with Sheep, One Woman, 10 Truths. And that deals with taking the mask off and accepting. I talk about how I've lived with PCOS and I have male pattern hair growth here. They call it hairsuism, and how I used to feel, it made me feel very uncomfortable. It makes you not feel feminine, all the things. And so I was afraid to show up fully on camera. Little did I know I would be doing this because at the time I wasn't doing all of this. Um, but I address those hard things and Speak with Sheep, One Woman, 10 Truths. And then when I met him, came 2 years later. I always tell people it didn't take me 2 years to write it. It took me 2 years to be okay with sharing those stories, because when I met him is a compilation of 10 short stories about 10 different men that I've encountered in my life.
Hmm.
And I always say that's hard to tell people. They said, "What is it about?" I wrote about 10 men that I encountered. And I mean, it's kind of hard to say that to people, right? But it's the truth. And that book is all about cycles in relationships. And what happens when a woman reads When I Met Him, she sees herself. All of my books, I have penned myself the mirror mentor. I write self-help books that give you a mirror instead of the answers. I don't have the answers, but I can hold up a mirror and let you see yourself. And it's a seed to help you begin to acknowledge some things in your life. I'm not saying you're going to read my books and your life is going to be all better, but you will read them and you will be forced to accept some things and to acknowledge some things. And prayerfully, they will be the catalyst for you to move to the next step and getting the work done. So those
I
are the first
love
two books in the
that.
series.
Yeah. So what made you write I think you kind of addressed it. What made you write this one that we're about to talk about?
Oh
The-
goodness. And now I just told you it took me 2 years from the first one to write the second. It took me 5 years to write this because When I Met Him was published in 2020. This one was the hardest for me to release. Like I said, all of my books are books of release. So I can't write them until I have dealt with whatever it is and it's no longer a thing for me. Well, the runner's lie. Ooh, I was a runner. I was a runner. I wrote this because I was ready to stop running. I
Mm.
knew I just kept saying, okay, I am so stuck. I know that there's something that's keeping me stuck, and it's oxymoronic that running kept me stuck. I want to sit. I need the people to sit with that for a minute. Running is what kept me stuck. I had to write this book so that I can move in the direction and the path that God has for me, because I just kept running from myself. Running just and the hard stuff, when we talk about the hard things of life, it really is just you. It's the hard work
It
that
is.
has to be done. And so I wrote it because I was tired of running around in circles, tired of being stuck, tired of not being prosperous, tired of being in the same raggedy relationships, tired of meeting the same man over and over again, tired, just tired, you know? And so the runner's lie was me having to deal with the lies that I continued to tell myself that kept me running. And the Lord kept saying, I need you to be still and know that I'm God.
Yeah. One thing we have to understand, and I think that one of the things, as I'm going to say people, not so much women, we don't understand that running, what does that really look like? What are we talking about? And those are some of the things that we will talk about through your book. Because when you think of running, everybody just thinks running, running here, doing this, doing this. No, you're talking about not facing yourself,
Mhm,
not coming into reality
mhm.
that you're broken, you're hurt, and you need help.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I want people to understand, because you're calling it a runner's
Mhm.
lie, that you have to understand what that lie is. And that's what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
What that lie is. What are you telling yourself to make yourself brush yourself off, get up and say, I'm okay, when you're
That's
really
right.
not?
That's right.
When you're really not. So when we think of the things in this particular book, and you've covered a lot already. I don't know if anybody's really listening, but you've covered a lot
Mhm.
already. And you said that this was a hard book for you to write. What was it that hit home for you, that made you make some sound decision
To
on writing this book?
write the
What
book.
was it that led you to the bringing point? What they say, take that last straw out the camel's back.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know.
I don't know how to be anything but transparent. I I was in a relationship, and remember I said when I met him, it's about cycles and relationships.
Yes.
I released that. I released those men, not dealing with that, yada yada. I found myself in another relationship, and I realized, okay, is you're not connected to this person for the same reasons you were in that book. You found yourself in this situation because you are still not willing to face the truth about some things. You're still running from yourself. And if you want out, you need to write it. Now, mind you, the book, I was actually supposed to release this book before.
Really.
Yeah. And not only that, another thing, there's so many, there's so many things. There's not like one thing, but there's
Right.
so many little things. Like I said, I knew I was stuck, and I knew I was stuck because of me. You understand? And so another thing is, I am the city I live in. I know this isn't the place that God has called me to be forever. Um, but He brought me back here for a reason. And I have been trying to get out of here since I got here 7 years ago. And the Lord has been telling me, you're gonna have to stay still, like you're there for a reason. And one of the lies we're gonna talk about is, I just need a fresh start. So my thing is everything's gotten messed up here. The people don't like me here. Speak Up Sis isn't working here. Nothing is happening here. If I move to another city, if I go to, there are other women like the women in Arkansas, they love Speak Up Sis, they love Angel. My thing, the way I would think is if I move to the place where the people accept me, things will be better there.
And you moved, and I think in this book is two times.
I've moved. Yeah, I've lived a few places. I've moved a few places with that same thought. If I go to a new place, and the truth is, you take you to all those places.
Right.
That's just the
Right.
truth.
Yeah.
You take you there. And so that was another thing. So I just really got to a place where I decided I'm tired of being stuck. And Lord, whatever it is that I need to learn, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to do it. And what it all came down to was that I didn't trust God. I mean,
Come on now.
if I can just make it all the way plain for those who may be wondering, like, what is it? The issue is that I didn't trust God. I did not have expectation for God, for childhood trauma and all sorts of other things. But I found myself in a place where you, like the man said, I believe you, but help my unbelief. I sat in a place of, Jesus, I trust you, but can you help me in my places where I don't trust? I'm just being honest. I know you can do it. I know you want to do it. I seen you do it for other people. Just not really sure you trying to do that for me.
Can you do it for me?
I just not really sure. And I never seen it happen before, never been able to really, it always just seems out of my reach. So I know I can trust me though, but you really can't.
Can you?
But exactly, it's the thought, right? I know I can depend on me. I know I can trust me. So if I get another job, if I go to a new place, I can start all over. I've done this before. I can right. And I had to settle with the understanding that you are running away from the fact that you are a believer who doesn't really trust the God you say you believe.
Yeah.
That's a hard truth to sit with
Yeah.
of someone like me.
Yeah. And that's true. My mother was a runner. Now she
Mhm.
was a runner. When she got tired, she just packed up and went away. And we were
Yeah.
like, "Well, where is she?" And she'd be gone for a week or so. And I
Mhm.
remember feeling those urges, and I was like, "No, that's what she used to do."
Mhm.
But still, those urges are within you, and it wasn't. Can I say that most women, not all women, not
Mhm.
all men, get to a place where they want to walk away, but you
Yes.
do have those times. That is a real emotion that's within us
Mhm.
that causes us not to stand still
Yeah.
and see the salvation of the Lord.
Yeah.
And one thing, learning how to trust Elohim, how to trust God, it takes being still.
Mhm.
It takes allowing him to change you. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's the unknown that we're afraid of, that we won't let him do
Yep.
what he needs to do within us.
Yep.
You know,
It's that fight. In science they call it the fight or flight. There are
fight or
some
flight,
people who are going to fight who have to learn to surrender.
surrender.
And then you have those people who are going to flight. They're going to leave and they got to learn to be still. We all are going to do our thing, but for me, I learned early, like with my mother as well. We She picked up and we moved so much. I just learned to, you just get up and go. You want a fresh start, you just go somewhere else.
Yeah,
And again, I'm glad you mentioned this earlier because it's not just about physically leaving. It's about not not being willing to sit and cope and deal, right? And we see that in some of the lies that we tell ourselves, right? One of them that I talk about is if I don't deal with it, it'll go away.
mm,
that that's a runner's mindset. It's a runner's mindset. Why? Because you refuse to sit still and deal with the truth. And the truth is, no, it's not just going to go away, right? And for what kept me running as long as I have is because in the world we live in, people like me are applauded. And I'm going to tell you what it looks like on the outside. She's fearless. She's not afraid to go. I hear people tell me all the time, "Oh my gosh, Angel, if I
I
could
could
just, I've been in
never
my
do
own
that.
town for so long. I just wish I could just get up and go." Right. And so it looks like she's so fearless. She's so strong. Like she got up and she left the country and she went to another country and she lived. What people don't realize is that that comes very easily for me because what's hard for me is to stay still and deal with what has happened. So if I've got a bunch of consequences in this place, it's so much easier for me to just say, forget it all here.
I'm
I'm gonna go
bouncing.
some. You understand? And
Yeah.
and it's not a shameful thing for me to say. I have filed bankruptcy twice.
Okay.
I don't sit in a place of shame in that way for different reasons.
Right.
But here's the thing: when you get to the root of it, I'm gonna just cross it all out and start fresh.
It's easier.
Just I don't care nothing about no credit. I got
Yeah.
everything I need. I got everything I need. I don't own the home. I got my car and da, 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 da. You know what? Just
Yeah.
listen, cut it out. Just wipe it clean. I'll start fresh. But what's gonna happen? You're gonna take yourself into the same habits, the same things. You're gonna find yourself in that same. Then I found myself. Oh Lord, I got you know what? Just wipe it clean again, right? And so you find yourself in this vicious cycle. Why? Because you refuse to sit down and be still and acknowledge what the issue is, and then deal with that issue.
Deal with it. Yeah. Hmm.
These are the consequences of the runner, right? The self sabotage. It's the runner. It's the runner. We all run for different reasons and from different things, but when you refuse to sit still and face the truth, then you can consider yourself a runner.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to say it looks different for everyone
It
else,
does.
but it's still the same topic, still the
Mhm.
same subject that
Absolutely.
has to be dealt with. And that
Absolutely.
is something that is so prevalent uh, with I'm gonna say our culture
Mm.
more because of s- way we were brought up,
Mhm.
not really taught how to deal with things,
Mhm.
not taught how to face things. And the reason why I say that is because one of the things that we was told, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
That's
Keep your
right.
mouth shut and keep living,
Keep living.
keep moving.
That's right.
So it shapes you.
Yep.
Those things shape you. So when they shape you, they shape you more or less with a negative, um, con what do you call it? A negative way more
Mhm.
so than a positive way.
Absolutely.
So now you grow up. Now you're trying to deal with life, and
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about, life. But you
Absolutely.
don't know how to deal with life because you haven't been taught
Mhm.
how to deal with life with a balance.
Absolutely.
And be,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Drug addiction, running, it's
yeah,
escapism.
yeah,
I just don't want to deal anymore, right?
right.
Alcoholism. It is I'm not willing to stay here and do what needs to be done. I'm not willing to stay here and face the consequences of my actions. So, so many bad things have happened, or I think I've caused so many things that I would just much rather go into la la land than to really deal with these things. It's running.
It
And
feels so
we
much. It's a temporary fix,
absolutely.
just for
Absolutely.
a moment of
For a
time.
moment. You're going to always come back to you because you're you. You're going to come right back to you. And when you and here's the trick about running. You, you don't realize that you're running from yourself. But you're always with you. And you don't
Always.
realize that the more you run, the more severe the consequences are going to be. When you finally decide to stand still, you have accumulated so much junk while you were running that now it's like, oh, if I would have just stopped running 2 years ago, I wouldn't be here, right? Or things wouldn't be so bad, or I wouldn't have done whatever, whatever, whatever. You don't realize the longer it takes you to be still and face it, the more damage you're doing.
Yeah. Can I say at this point, to, it's okay to face your fears.
Yes.
It's okay
Yes.
to accept the fact that this is an issue in my life I need to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't deal with things because we don't know that there's a wholesomeness in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to make let everybody not see my flaws,
Mm-hmm.
people not understand that I'm broken. I
Yes.
just got to show up for
Mm.
myself
Mm-hmm.
and show up in such a way that people will not see the negativity in me but the positive.
Absolutely.
So I, I let me just I just want to we were talking about we're talking about the runner's line.
Yes, the runner's lie. Yes.
And for those of you that are just joining us, thank you for joining us. And in this book, and it's a small, you all your books are small because
Mhm.
you said you wanted to make it like it's an easy read, um, get to the point, and hopefully change narratives in your life that you're facing. So it's 10 lies women tell themselves to
Mhm.
avoid life's challenges. And
Yes.
that's what we're talking about today, avoiding life challenges. But when we look at the table of contents and we begin to look at each one of these, but something it'll come back to me because one of the things, oh, we talked about an easy fix.
Mhm.
Sometimes, and we'll talk about that, sometimes we get into relationships to cover up and try to bring us to a place that we really don't deal with life. And we think he's going to bring me out.
Yeah.
He's going to help me
Yeah.
come out. He's
Yeah.
going to be my prince on a white
That's
horse. And
right.
we're going to have a white picket fence and go off into la la land.
Yeah.
And we still end up broken,
Messed up.
messed up, because we're looking for somebody else to save us
That's right. And
instead
there's
of the
but one
Savior.
savior. And there's but one savior, right? There's but
Instead
one.
of the
There's
Savior.
only one.
So I just want to go through just the titles,
Mhm.
and we're gonna pick out a few,
Okay.
and we'll go from there. How much time we have? Oh, we don't
That's
have that much time. I'm dealing with it. I'll deal with it later.
uh-huh.
There's something bigger. I
Better.
don't have time for this.
Mhm.
Ignore it and it will go away. Almost is good enough. We're going
Mhm.
to talk about that one. I'm okay. I don't never, what is that? Oh, I don't need anyone.
Mhm.
That's a false statement right there.
Uh-huh.
But we do tell ourselves that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just need a fresh start. It's too good to be true. And the last one is no one understands.
Yes.
I think we need
Yes.
to start with that one. I'm we're gonna go backwards a little
Yes.
because that's a big lie we have. We I'm on the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
has told us. And
Yeah.
the enemy has planted this lie in us that no one understands. We kind of can bring the two of them together where it says, no one understands and I don't need anybody.
And I don't need it because no one understands. I don't need anyone, right? And if we want to throw in that third one, and I'm okay.
And I'm okay. Yes.
And I
Charmaine,
am
go do that.
oh, and I am okay. Absolutely. So that last one. I really dealt with that when I talked to you earlier about expectation, right? Um, the idea that nobody knows what I've been through. People say, "Oh, I understand." No, you don't. You weren't in my house. You weren't there. Oh, well, Angel, no, just because you went through something doesn't mean you understand what I went through, right? Just because you lost your mother doesn't mean you know how I feel about, losing someone. Just because, you had childhood essay doesn't mean you know how I feel. Nobody gets it. I'm dealing with it. And I think right now we're seeing lots of people who are dealing with depression and anxiety and all these things. And I don't know about you, but I've noticed the uptick in people taking their own lives and things of that nature. And I think a lot of people sit in this place where the enemy has really got them to believe that no one understands what you're dealing with, is just one of a kind, and they don't really understand you. They're never going to understand you. And so you in this by yourself. You can figure it out by yourself, right? And it's a lie, and it keeps us stuck, or it keeps us, not facing with the truth. And the truth is, people do understand. They do understand. And if you would open up your mouth and share, right, and have and allow yourself to have a teachable spirit to be able to receive, then you'll realize, like, a lot of people understand. And what I'm going through, you know what, you might even say, man, this might not be as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, and I've been there. People
Absolutely.
can say, girl, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
you know and I think that a very important part to that is the word,
Mm-hmm.
having the word, the substance of the word in
That's
your
right.
life
That's
that
right.
can help you have a balance. Now, I'm not saying don't have counseling. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying don't be in circles where you're building up each other. We don't need
Mm-hmm.
to sit down and have the coffee. Girl, I feel the same way. No, that's not what we
Yeah.
need. We need encouragement.
That's
We
right.
need those around us that will build us up
Yeah.
and help us to understand that life is, and I don't like this saying, and I don't know why, life is life in,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact of the matter that you don't have to go through it by yourself.
You don't.
And that, when those three things right there, is what makes you go in a corner, put the
Mm-hmm.
covers over your head,
Mm-hmm.
and not want to move.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And dare I say this, because the ministry that God has given me is not a coddling ministry. I'm not a coddler.
Right.
It's just, I tell people all the time, if you need to be coddled and nurtured a bit more, there's another ministry that you need to sit with before you come. I know the Lord didn't send you over here if you need to be coddled, because that's not it. You understand? Dare I say, nobody understands also sits in a place of, you don't want correction.
Mm.
Because when we sit in this place of, you just typically, when a woman gets to the point where she says, you don't understand,
Stay
she
away.
doesn't want
Back
to hear
up.
something. What you're saying is something that makes her have to deal with something that she's been running from. And so when you're coming up saying, listen, sis, I do understand. And I get it. And I understand that this is how you don't understand. I do. But what you've got to understand is that when you meet this man and you go lay up,
It makes
when
it worse.
you come on,
It makes it worse.
when you do this thing, this is what, oh, you don't understand. No, I do understand. But because you're not willing, because you said just now, you said, coming together, not just to say, girl, I've been there, but to for edification and exhortation, but also for correction.
Correction.
We have to be willing to have another woman, a Titus 2 woman. I always tell you know I love the Titus 2. Everybody want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. We need more Titus 2 women, elder women who are willing to come and teach us how to be good mothers, good women, good wives, good daughters. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of times nobody understands just simply means that you're not willing to sit and deal with what the truth is yet. But when you're ready, you'll realize that far more people understand than you think.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so that's a hard one to sit with though.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we do create these thought patterns that put up boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say nobody understands, that's a boundary
Yes, it
that
is.
you're putting up, and it's like a stop sign.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me nothing because you haven't been here.
Exactly. Exactly.
And those, when we get in those spaces, we do need people that's going to be real with us.
Mm-hmm.
We need people around us that's going to say, look, you need to get off this merry-go-round. You
Yes,
need to stop hitting your head against the wall and think that nobody understands because the enemy has said that.
that's right.
Uh, did God really say?
Ah, uh-huh.
And and then you get to thinking. And then when you get to thinking outside of him,
Mm-hmm.
then it's easy, like you said, to want to commit suicide, to want to hurt yourself, to go to drugs, to go to alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
to go to and this is a big one, to gossip about somebody else to take it off of
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes.
So um I don't know if I hope I'm not going too far off your
Oh
book
no,
here.
you are right. You are right there, sis. So you said something earlier about um why the books are, I call them bite size.
Yes.
It's one, because what the Lord has me deal with is hefty. I have talked to women throughout the years of writing, some of my beta readers and women who read the book. Oftentimes, when a woman sees herself, she puts the book down. I've been told that so many times by Angel. I had to. When you get it, people think, "Oh, let me read through this." But as soon as you see you, it causes you to pause. And I believe the Lord has me give these have these conversations, if you will, in these small increments, because it would be overwhelming
Mm.
to, if this were a 300-page book of these 10 things, it's overwhelming.
And everybody ain't reading them.
It, it's so this, they're going to get through it. They're actually going to read it. They're actually going to see that thing. They're going to have to deal with that thing, and it's digestible, because the Lord uses these books to simply plant a seed. It is just to
Mm.
hold the mirror up and here you go. Now look at yourself. Now there are going to be other people who may help walk you through some things, right? There may be other things that, or these women may end up working with me and coaching or something. But the book is simply the seed. It is simply saying, like that first step in the 12-step program, this allows you to acknowledge, I'm lying to myself.
Yeah.
That's when you read the scenario, you're gonna go, I never saw it this way. That's all it's designed to do. It's not designed to give you the answers to fix your situation. It's designed for you to see yourself Acknowledge that that's your thing and begin the process of, let me figure out, let me talk to the Lord and see what do I need to do so that this is not a thing that I continue to deal with in my life.
So I guess I can say that that is, if someone is
Hmm.
listening, feels stuck right now, what's the first step they can do? You kind of
Hmm.
covered that just now. You know, what you want women to take away from here. I believe that you also covered that. This, these books are for life changing
Yes.
experience. And like you said, they're small bites, because but the bites that's in them are the bites that make you
Yes.
think and make you come to realization, I need
I
to
need to change.
change. Not my
Mm.
neighbor, not my
Mm-mm.
sister, not my
Mm-mm.
mama, but it's me,
Yep.
oh Lord,
Yep.
you know, so that you can get off that hamster wheel.
Yes.
We stay on that hamster wheel so long, and we say, is there? And I say this every Sunday: is life worth living? It's worth living, but there's some change. Excuse me, you got to talk. I'm
Go
talking full.
ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry,
You all right,
there's
Miss
some
Leslie?
change.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
okay.
Get you some water now.
I got it. Uh, there's some changes that you have to make. The first step is you
Hmm.
realizing that you have to make, not anybody else have to make the changes. Changes have to be take place in your
Hmm.
mind,
Hmm.
excuse me, in your mind. It has to start there. Uh, in your thinking pattern, it has to be more positive.
Absolutely. 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 So, those of you who have, if you've never picked up one of the books in the series, one of the things that that the feedback that I get from women is that the situations are real. They're real situations. When you read them, you're gonna feel like I've done this before. I believe there's one where I talk about, sitting and looking around and seeing all these bills spread out all around me. If you've ever been that person who just refuses to open, you got a drawer filled with unopened mail, you know what it is, you know what they're saying, but you're like, I don't have the money to pay it anyway, there's no need for me to look at it because I can't pay it anyway. That is a form of running, of not dealing. And so, with not just the runner's lie, but all three of the books in the series, what you'll find is that I share real everyday situations. And as an avid reader, prior to being a writer, I feel confident in saying a lot of times we read books and they give us these lofty scenarios, or they give us these, and you're like, okay, I can kind of see myself in that. But that's them. I would never do that, right? I would never. You can't. You get it, but it's not your life. No, I promise you. When you read one of mine, as a seasoned woman, I like to say a seasoned woman, a woman of a certain age, a middle aged woman, I can almost guarantee you that you will see yourself, if at least one of the 10, if not more, relatable.
Relatable.
Very.
So I hear procrastination.
Procrastination. Yes.
A lot of
Mhm.
procrastination takes place when we don't want to
Mhm.
deal. So that procrastination, and we do 30-day challenges, and the last one we just got off of was
Mm.
procrastination with the 12-12 Alicia Johnson. And in that, we've learned one of the things she talks about is that
Yeah.
mail. putting that mail aside and not
Mhm.
opening up that mail. And not only just not opening up that mail, how many things we missed or needed that was in that mail, but and we didn't open it because we thought it was something
Absolutely.
else.
Absolutely.
We have been on the 9 a.m. call. My sister also wrote a book, and it's called Burn. What's it called? Burn the ashes. No, burn the box and surrender
Okay.
the ashes. So it's like this falls into place with that.
Gotcha.
Dealing things within your life that causes you to not want to come out the
Mhm.
box. You come out the box, but you don't want, you're still
Yep.
holding on to the box. You burn the blocks, but you still got those ashes over there in
That's
the little
right.
corner, just in
Just in
case.
case.
And so the 10 lies is wrapped
That's
up
right.
in there. Those things and that's in the ashes that we don't want to
Mhm.
surrender because of the little foxes
Absolutely.
that spoil the vine. So when we see your book, and one of the things that I find in your book was your little in at the end, the
Mm.
truths, and how you sum it
Yeah.
up with the truth of what that particular chapter is
Yeah.
about. And one was the truth, and we talked about this. Avoidance is not
That's right.
healing. What you face loses its power. What you ignore only
That's
grows
right.
stronger. And for us to understand the fact that avoiding things is not healing, that's a
Yeah.
powerful statement.
Mhm. If I don't, you know what? I know I cut my hand. I see the cut on my hand. But I'm so scared to go to the doctor that they might say that they need to
It's
stitch it
more
up or
than that.
something else. Or if I go, they're gonna tell me something of another. So I see the cut, but I'm just gonna keep doing everything. I'm just not gonna deal with it. That and so now you're looking at it and it's like, oh, it's not red anymore. Oh, it's not open anymore. Oh, but it's not healing because now it's crusted over. Now you got infection in it. So does it change? Avoiding it does cause it to change. Some still gonna change, but that doesn't mean that healing is taking place. And
Right.
sometimes I think when we avoid things and it doesn't seem like there's an immediate consequence, it's like, oh gosh,
Yep.
now, but when the hand starts hurting, when you can't do anything, now the pain running down your whole arm. Now you have to go, and now they're like, we
And you're scared.
where they could have gave you
But
some medicine, stitched it up, and sent you home. Now you're gonna have to have your
home.
arm cut off.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Why do I have to want to change? I don't want to change. What
Growth
is it?
requires change. There's no way for a human to grow and not change. If you don't want change, then you're saying that you're ready to just be out of here. If you don't want change, then you're saying you want to live a life of insanity. If you don't want anything to change, right? Then what is the purpose of you even being here? Why change? Because you're human, because you're alive, because you want to grow. Why change? Because it's required. If you're a believer, change is required. It's not something it's not a, oh no, it is required in order to
Yes.
be a part of the family of Christ. Then scripture tells us you actually have to take off the old garments and put on new. You have to be given a new heart. You have to allow the old you to be unalived and gone in order to become this new person. Change when you are a believer is not optional. You must change. Listen, you can't even, Holy Spirit, you can't when our time here is over, there's still going to be more changes into a new body. Change is
Yeah.
inevitable. So why change?
Hmm.
Because it's inevitable. And here's the thing, even if you try to avoid it, you're still going to change. And that's what people don't understand,
Yes.
right? When we say indecision is still a decision, even if you try to avoid change, the truth is that it's inevitable. And the fun loving happy person that you once were, you will change into a bitter, miserable, unhappy, surely person, simply because
That nobody wants to be
the change
around.
is going to happen. So
Yeah.
I think a fuller question would be, right, why don't you want to change?
Mm.
Why don't you want to change?
Because I like where I'm at, even though I don't like where I'm at.
A double-minded person is
Unstable.
unstable in all of his ways, because that sounds double-minded.
Double-minded, and but that's what we're
Absolutely.
saying when we don't want
Yes,
to change.
absolutely.
I think about, and I'm thinking about Paul and how Paul, before he became Paul, he was Saul, and he thought he was doing the right thing, and he thought that he was doing what was pleasing to the
Hmm.
Father until he had an
That's right.
experience. And what you're talking about, we have to have an experience with the
Yes, we
Father.
do.
And when he heard, he was like, Lord, Lord, is that you? What's going on? And in that process, he said, I once was blind, and we know he was
Hmm.
blinded for
Yeah,
3 days, and there was a
yeah.
transformation going on,
Convert.
conversion. We need to
Have
be
to be.
converted. And once he woke up, and he was like, man, all this time I was doing this, and not even
Hmm.
reaching my
Hmm.
goal. I'm saying
Yeah,
goal.
I
Goal might
understand.
be the wrong word, but I thought that because in front of people, ushering in the church, singing on the
Mm.
choir, doing all these things was going to get me in
Hmm.
heaven. And he thought because he was killing
Hmm.
Christians that he was
That's
going to make
right.
it in. We have to have a
Yes,
conversion. We have to have an experience that causes us to no longer want to be the
absolutely.
same. And so when we think about it, anybody that feels like being comfortable in their mud, I'm
Uh-huh.
saying mud, and they got their high boots
Uh-huh.
on and they're treading through the
Hmm.
mud, but the mud they're steady
Steady
sinking.
sinking.
And because they don't want to make
Don't want to
the
make the change.
change,
Afraid to change.
afraid to
Afraid to
change.
change. I don't think, and this is a personal belief. This is not a biblical principle. This is a personal belief.
Right.
I believe that everybody wants better. And I believe every human in their right mind, okay, wants to do right and wants better. I just believe
Sure.
that. Um,
That's true.
I also believe that people who are not willing to make the changes, many of them are simply afraid of something. There are different reasons that they're afraid. There are different things that they're afraid of, but it is fear that is at the base of it. I believe there's one of two things. They're
Uh-huh.
either afraid or they're prideful. Oh, I keep forgetting. This is what makes that happen. Yes, that's
It
what
ain't happening
happens.
on my
So you got people who they're afraid of what people are going to say if they change. They're afraid
Yes.
of the unknown. They don't know. They know
Yes.
the comfortable place. So I'd rather stay here than to go into something I don't know, because it could be worse than what I got and I don't know. And so there's a fear. There's a fear of the unknown. There's a fear of what people have to say. Right. There's a fear of failure. There's a fear of success. There's so many fears. And then you have people who they just believe they're doing the right thing. it's a self-righteous, right, a proudful place, and they're not changing. What do you mean I need to change? I know what I'm doing. I
Stagnated,
know you're the one who's wrong, right? You're the one
stale.
who's is you. I know. And so this is here again, my personal belief. People who don't want to change are people who are just afraid, which means they really do want to change, but they're just afraid. And then you have people who are proudful and they're pompous and they're self-righteous, and they don't believe that they need to change because they
To
believe
change.
they're all right exactly the way that they are. I think it's a bit more
Yeah.
dangerous to not change for that reason.
Yeah, and that's so true. And some people, it's just um, in a place that, like you said, they're comfortable. There was one that something that came to mind, and now it slipped me that to add to your list. But yeah, so you had
Mm.
broken, so broken you can't even see
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hopelessness, feeling like if I change, nothing's going
Mhm.
to change. You know, not understanding what change
That's
really
right.
is. We live in a world that's comfortable and does not like change.
Yes.
And because of that, we see the consequences of not wanting
Yep.
change. So, we're not saying this because we want you to feel like there's no hope. We're saying this because we want you to know there is hope.
Absolutely.
We want you to know that no matter what you're going through, no matter how it looks, you can come
Absolutely.
out.
You can't.
We don't want you thinking about
Mm-mm,
suicide. We don't want you thinking that you got to stay in the bed with the
mm-mm,
shades down because there's no hope. I seen this video and I always talk about it on Instagram. And it was a man sitting down and he had a sign. He says, "I'm blind, can you help me?" This little girl walks by. She sees the sign. She comes back with a marker. She turns it over and it says, "It's a beautiful day, but I just can't see."
mm.
How many of us don't see and recognize the beauty in our
Mm.
lives and in our days? You don't have to be blind naturally, you can be
Absolutely.
blind spiritually.
Absolutely.
And that's what Paul was. Paul was blind spiritually, or Saul was blind spiritually. And that's why he said, "My eyes was closed, but now
Right.
they're open and I
I
understand."
understand.
But guess what? The people around him didn't change, didn't trust him because of his
Mm-hmm.
change.
Mm-hmm. But he still walked in the
We
change
can't
though.
we can't
You
worry
can't
about that.
worry about it. You cannot worry. The truth is that you absolutely have to simply acknowledge the truth. And you cannot be concerned about what people think about the truth. You just have to acknowledge it and you just have to live in it. It is the truth that we know that allows us to be free. Period.
So, in your book, what chapter is this? It's almost, it's too good to be true, and the truth of that. But before the truth, it says, "I spent so much of my life running before I could get
Mhm.
hurt. But what if I had been hurting myself all along? I wasn't ready to reach out to him. I wasn't even sure if that was a real thing to
Mhm.
do, right thing to do. But I knew one thing: the next time love finds me, I won't run." Now we know that this was dealing with a
Mhm.
relationship, you know, and how you ran away because you were
Mhm.
afraid of
Right.
facing that he might
Uh-huh.
really
Mhm.
care. He might really think something of
Mm-hmm.
me. He might really what he say what's coming out his mouth as truth.
Oh, hold on a second. Holy Spirit, you're talking, and I hear the Spirit of the Lord saying, "That's what you all do to me." Glory,
Exactly.
my God. I got to sit. I'm gonna have to sit with that for a minute. At beyond this, we run from the Lord. Not everybody. This is not everybody's story, right? But when you were
Right.
reading it, I went and I hear the Lord just, and I'm just like, whoa, right? We will self sabotage our own relationships with the Lord. I really want Him to do this. Not really sure. Not really sure if it's real. Not really sure if He will. Not really sure if I'm good enough. Not so I'm just gonna do whatever and I'm gonna do all this but when we get to the place where we say, if you just give me another chance, Lord, I won't run. I'll stay here. Okay. Let me move on from this one. And you know what's interesting about this is that one is the lie that has devastated my soul the most out of all 10.
It's encoded with fear.
That is the one when people say, well, Angel, which one? That is the lie. The thing that I want. We lost Miss Leslie for a minute. I'm sure she's gonna come back in, y'all. It's okay. But the one of the very things that I really, really want, right? That's that's the one. That is the one that I have struggled the most with. But I bless the Lord.
Wow.
I'm done running. I'm no longer a runner, y'all. I'm no longer.
Amen.
So I
Amen.
listen. I say, Lord, Lord, if you just come back this
Heal me.
way, I
Yes.
won't run.
Yes. So the truth to that was goodness is not a trick. You are worthy of love, joy, and peace without waiting for the bottom
Yeah,
to fall out.
yeah, yeah. I remember writing in Speak with Sheep, One Woman, 10 Truths. Um, Learning how to be still. When you be still, you will realize that you won't be destroyed. Sometimes I can speak for myself as a runner, as a former runner. Slowing down, stopping makes you feel like you're gonna die. Something gonna break. Something ain't gonna be right. I gotta make it happen. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a trick. It's not gonna destroy you. Being still will not destroy you. And in actuality, being still is what's gonna restore you. When we rest is when the healing takes
Exactly.
place. Even naturally, when you go to sleep, your cells, everything heals while you rest. Mm.
That's right. That's right.
Listen, you're gonna make me go back and reread my own stuff. Okay.
You have to put amendments
I
to it.
listen, and the thing is, but that's the beauty of all of the 3 books that I've written. So I still read my own work. And because
Okay,
I
good.
release them when I no longer deal with that thing, when that stuff comes back up in my life, I find myself going back to, like, I'll go back and read when I met him. If I meet a man like any of those men, I have to tell myself, okay, we don't do this anymore. We don't do this
Yeah.
anymore. Or I'll go back to Speak with
Yes.
Sheik if I'm feeling like I need to cover up and hide. I'll go read Mask Off, and I'll be like, okay, we don't care what people think about what we look like, right? I had to tell myself. So I actually go back and read my own work to remind myself. And I've had other women to say they'll say, Angel, I'm rereading because like I needed to read this again. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And your last chapter, but there was something I wanted. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
good.
I have to. I have to share the word and the part where Moses and the Israelites get to the Red
Uh-huh.
Sea and they're complaining and they're like, what's gonna happen? What we gonna do? We out here, you done brought us out here, and we don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen. We
We
about to
about to die.
die. And Moses goes to the father. Moses is crying, and the father's like, what you crying for? Get up. And he said, go tell them people. He says, be
Mm-hmm.
still. In other words, be still, know that I am God, and see my salvation. This enemy you'll see no
Mm-hmm.
more. And I want to encourage those that are here today that that part of your life, you don't have to fight for it. Give it to the
Yes.
Father. It said, he told them, he says, um, Yahweh, the Lord, shall fight for
Mm-hmm.
you. His desire. And he says, just hold your peace. Sometimes we have to be
Mm-hmm.
quiet. Sometimes we have to put ourselves in a space that, although everything is right here, and he's like, I got you. You don't have to keep on going on the same wheel of the hamster. Going the hamster, he's just playing. He's going. That's his day. That's what he does. But we don't have to keep getting on that hamster's
Mm-hmm.
wheel. He promised that if we
Mm-hmm.
seek him, if we seek his face while he may be
Yes.
found, if we be still, the first thing he said, tell them to be
Yes.
quiet. That's what he was saying. Be quiet. I have an answer. And you, it might not been in the form you thought it was, but there was a lot of answers given here today to help you come off that wheel, to help you understand that it's not the end of your life. Your life is just beginning because now you're going to make that change. If any man be in
Is
Christ,
a
he is
new
a new
creation.
creature.
Yes.
Old things are, those are all old things that he wants to pay you to get
Mm-hmm.
over. And no, you're not going to be
Mm-mm.
naked. You're not going to be so
Mm-mm.
vulnerable that you're afraid to allow
That's
him to do
right.
what he wants to do. You're going to release to him those
Mm-hmm.
fears, that brokenness, that insecurity. A lot of the lies we tell ourselves because of the
Yeah.
insecurities that's in our
Yes.
lives. Look, this one that we can say, Angel, she's powerful. She got this going on. I don't have this going on. I'm not doing this.
Insecurity.
Insecurity that keeps us
Mm-hmm.
separated, keeps us in bondage. These are things that we're talking about that keeps us
That's
in
right.
bondage. And now it's time for us to take the scales off
Mm-hmm.
our eyes, to unstop our deaf ears, to move to the next. It takes time. It's one
Yeah.
step at a time, but you got to start
Gotta
the
start.
steps and don't go backwards. Keep pressing for marks. I mean, Paul said,
Press
"I
toward the
press."
mark. That's
He didn't
right. The
say
high
it
calling.
was easy. He said, "I had to
Gotta
press through this
press.
thing." I was on the broken pieces of a boat. I got bit by a snake. All these things that happened to me, but I had to
That's
stay
right.
focused and keep my eyes on the
Absolutely.
Lord. So, as you leave today, and the last truth, and I know it was about, we already went
Oh no,
over.
you got
Um,
this. I'm gleaning. I believe in listening and I'm listening and learning, and I'm gonna sit. Me and the Lord gonna sit and go through a whole lot of this stuff a little later.
Amen. But it was someone does. someone does understand. Your story resonates deeply with others. When you share, you'll find you were never
Mhm.
alone. And we do want to end with that. I kept you half an hour
You're all
longer,
right.
but we do want to end with that. We want you to know that there are people that are really positioned. Father is so intentional that he'll put people in our lives that will understand. And we might not have been through exactly what you've been through, but we've
Yeah,
been through. And we are there to listen, to have compassion, to pray with you and help you get over this hump.
absolutely.
It is important that you understand that He sets people in your path to help
Mhm.
you. And when you purchase this book, I put everything is in the description. How to purchase this book. What is it? The Runner's
Yes.
Lie. It's time to stop
Mhm.
running. It's time to no longer live with the 10 lies women tell themselves to avoid life's
Mhm.
challenges. Life is a
Yeah.
challenge, but how will you choose from this point on to live your
Yes.
life? So I'm going to let you have have the last words. We first, I want to say thank you for being willing to come on. Thank you for sharing from your heart, sharing with the book, sharing with your other books. Listen, get your books, sit down, and begin to step by
Yeah.
step come out of where you
That's
are.
right.
All right,
Oh my
Angel.
goodness, you said no. I don't even like to go behind the word because once you put the word on it, that to me that stamps it. And so I just want to say thank you again for allowing me to come into the space and to share the Runners Live with your audience. And again, I one of the things that really messed with me when I first started writing because I am an academic, because I taught English and gifted and all these different things and trained teachers. When the very first book when it came back, I thought, God, this not a book, this is a pamphlet. What is this? Right? Can I just be honest here? That was my thought
Yeah.
because I've taught the canon. You understand? And when the Lord began to, he had women calling, messaging, texting, emailing, right? Women just reaching out. Women I still have messages. I kept them because I couldn't believe I didn't even know the women. You understand? Who were saying, I needed this. This is what I'm dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? He showed me, Angel, you weren't about the wrong thing. You focus on people. You focus on, no, do what I tell you to do. This is what they need. Just give them what they need, Angel. And so I want to say to you all, don't allow the size to fool you. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter which one you pick up. Whatever the Lord leads you to, you're going to see exactly what you need in it. You're going to hear the conversation. Now that you've heard my voice, it's going to sound like I'm reading it. When you're reading it, you hear my voice, don't you, Miss Leslie? It's a conversation on paper. And when you're reading, I just ask that you will allow the Lord to minister to your heart. That's it. And whatever he shows you, when you're looking in that mirror, allow the Lord to work in your heart, and you'll find he'll lead you straight to the word. This book is going to lead you straight to the word, and he's going to lead you straight to what you need to do in order to begin to work on whatever is revealed in these little powerful books. So I thank you again for allowing me to come into this
Thank
space.
you.
Stop lying to yourselves, sisters. And yes, this I heard you say earlier, everyone, yes, men tell themselves lies too, but I'm very sure that God has called me to minister to the
To
hearts
the
of
women.
women. And so I'm very clear on that. I don't try to teach a man anything. That's not what God has called me to do. So, can a man read this and get something out of it? Absolutely.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
women, the scenarios are going to connect with
Tailored
women.
to women.
Yes.
Yeah. And the stories will resonate, as you said. Now, if you have a book in your heart, Angel does have a publishing company.
Oh
I
no,
think that's
I don't,
right. What is it you
I
have?
don't put.
What is
So
it you have?
the bookshelf. But I will say it's been a minute. So the Lord is transitioning Speak Up Sis from an entrepreneurial venture to ministry. So things are shifting, and
Why did I
I had
think
the
you? I
bookshelf. I
heard
did. So I would help women.
a publishing.
No,
Oh,
uh, uh, um, Latoya, yes,
Dr.
Dr.
Latoya.
Rainique Publishing. She does that. But what I would do
Mhm.
through Speak Up Sis, I would just help women. So if you had a
Okay.
book and someone sent you to me, I do consultations and things like that, and I will help women who need it. And I will say this: if you need it, I do have consultations. I will sit down and work through it with you. I can help you, but I'm not a publishing company. But I can
I don't
help
know
you
why I
do
keep
it
hearing
because
that.
you know why? Because I help everybody.
So listen, tell them about the Speak Up Sis headquarters
Oh,
before we
okay.
get off.
So the Speak Up Sis Empowerment Center is our headquarters. It's a brick and mortar space here in Augusta, Georgia. And we have workshops there. We have different types of events there. The Speak Up Sis Awards meet and greet is there every year. And it is the place that God has given Speak Up Sis to be able to do the work that He's called us to do. So it isn't. We also have we partner with the International Menstrual Hygiene Coalition, and we have the Pad Bank, the IMAC Pad Bank inside of the Empowerment Center as well. We take donations for pads and we just give them away for free. So other
Right.
organizations, if they're having events and they want to be able to give free menstrual hygiene products away to women and girls in their community, then all they have to do is give us a call and we will prepare dignity kits and we'll make sure they get them and they can give them out. So that is something that we do at the Empowerment Center as well. So it is a brick and mortar home that God has given us to do the work.
So do you still have space that if someone wants to have an event that they can?
Yep, people can still rent the venue. We actually have a baby shower that has someone is having a baby shower in October. And there's an organization that's going to be having an awards program. They just started. Yeah,
Oh
it's a
wow.
small, but it's a little a mini awards program. They've rented the venue to do that in as well. So yes, we still allow. And now, just let me say, we belong to the
Okay.
Lord. Speak Up Sis belongs to the Lord. We don't
I know
allow
that's right.
every type of event. We don't have like club parties and stuff like that.
Right.
But yes, so
Yeah. So if you're looking for a training center to train or to have something, this is the
yes,
place you
workshops,
want to
board
come.
meetings,
Yes.
any of those kind of things. Absolutely.
Yes. And you'll be richly blessed. So stop
Yeah.
on in, go on by there and meet Angel. And
Yeah,
yeah,
we're at 2275
pour into
Riceboro
her.
Road in Augusta, Georgia. The number is 706-394-2030. Feel free to give us a call. You can visit speakupsisempowermentcenter.com if you're interested in renting the venue. You can go check us out online at speakupsisempowermentcenter.com. If you're interested in me as an author, and all of my work, please visit angelcharmaine.com. Everything is there, every book, I even have workshops. The mirror moment is a mini workshop that I provide as well. It is online, it's self-paced. So everything is there at angelcharmaine.com if you're interested in learning more about me as a speaker and an author.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And all of your social media connections is on the
Yes.
descriptions. I just want to share this beautiful picture. I was looking for something else. And the funny thing is, I looked at this picture and I said, um, well, who's this in the sassy woman in the middle? This is from the award ceremony that just
Yes.
passed, and also we see your book here that you're still pressing on, getting trying to get people to purchase your book. But I thought this was such a beautiful picture. I just wanted to share it. That this is a part of Speak Up
Yes. And
Sis.
those are
That
your those
uh,
that's your community right there on the end. Miss
yeah,
Alicia and Miss
Alicia.
Tiffany.
Yes, 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 yes. And I really went on there to find some of your information, and I saw, and I was like, "Well, who's the sassy woman in the?" I didn't even
You
realize
didn't
it
realize
was
that was
you.
me? Yes.
And then all of a sudden it dawned on me that's such a beautiful
Thank
picture.
you.
So listen, reach out to her. Listen, you won't be disappointed. And we want to say thank you for being here. Those that have come on later, London, right now, we're in the feast season, so a lot of people are preparing and not here, but London, the UK, Virgin Islands, the US, wherever you find yourself here, we want to
Thank
say thank you for being here. And if you have not hit the like sign,
you.
subscribe or share, please do so before we get off. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Angel, to be here to share with us just a little bit of your golden nuggets from, yes, from lies we tell.
The
That's what I'm
lies we
saying. Lies
tell.
we
Yes. And
tell.
please, everyone, please, please, please. I set a big, bold goal to sell 1,000 books by December 31st. I want to reach at least 1,000 women. I believe it's possible with this book. So if you have not gotten a copy, please, and it doesn't have to just be the runner's lie. If you want to get the ebook or the paperback, if you think you want to read When I Met Him or any of them, they will all count towards that 1,000. So please,
Oh, okay.
if it's not a hard task on Amazon, if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free to read. The ebook is $2.99. If the paperback currently is $9.99, it's on sale, but it'll go back up to $14.99. So if you want to get this, is a good time to go ahead and grab it up.
Oh,
But yes, please just let some women know. We serve a big God, and I believe it's a lofty goal, but I believe it's doable.
yes.
Yep, yep,
I
yep.
believe
There
so
are
too.
those are the six. Those are my six published works, and any of them will count towards the goal. So, yes,
Love it.
thank
Love
you.
it. Well, thank you so much. And listen, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and enjoy your week. And think about it. Are you telling yourself lies? Are there things that you need to face, to change that's within your life? And until we meet again, have an amazing week. And remember, you're not alone. There's people that are in your life that are there not to be nosy, not to be gossiping and telling your business, but really love you and concerned about you and willing to help you through the process. So don't go through it by yourself. Remember, most of all, that God loves you and He's concerned about you. Till we meet again, have an amazing evening. Hey sis, my sister Linda popped on. How you doing? Everybody, thank you. Yeah, see why? Why?
Good
Okay.
night.
Have a good evening.